Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another jewelry making video at keepsakecrafts.net. During the over 400 videos I've made for you, I have made a lot of pieces that have not been finished. And I suspect you have a lot of pieces of polymer clay and experiments and such that you haven't finished either. So today I'm going to take one of those pieces and show you how I go about making it into a finished piece of jewelry. So what you're looking at here is one of 5 of these little bins I just got at the craft store to hold all of my bits and pieces of polymer clay stuff. I actually used to have it kind of sorted into some order, but now I just chuck things in here. All kinds of things. Oh, here, let's see, here's another one. Just, you might recognize some of these from videos. Just things that I made and didn't immediately know what to do with. That's cool. See, I should do something with that. Oh, wait a minute. Here's another one. You may recognize, and again, you'll recognize some of these pieces. Some of them are fails, but you can often use these for other things. And I was looking through this and decided, you know what? It's high time I turn one of my favorites into a finished piece of jewelry. And that's what I'm going to do with this piece today. I made this in a recent video. And let me show you how I approach taking something like this and making it into a piece of jewelry. All of these pieces, you'll have to wait to be finished another day. So actually, the very first thing I did while I was designing this piece was I chose the bail while I was putting it all together. And that's always a good idea, to get your hardware first, so to speak, and then make the other design decisions around it, because sometimes you'll finish without that, and then you'll have something in mind that doesn't exist anywhere. I've run into that problem before. So I'm really happy with this bail, with this pendant. And now the decision is, what am I going to do to finish it? And I'm picturing something fairly simple, but you could just throw a chain in there and call it done, but I want something a little bit more than that. So what I decided was, I think I just want a chain of beads on simple loops. So just bead connectors that will accent it and frame it and just fancy it up a little bit. So then the next decision is, well, what colors and what types of beads? So first I went into my bin of clear and white beads. I have all of my beads organized by color. And if you want to learn more about how I sort my beads, you can look at my studio tour video series. And the first thing I thought, well, this has an ocean theme, so what about pearls? And they're pretty, but I thought they were a little too fancy. This is more of a casual piece. And the same with the crystals. The crystals are pretty and they go with it, but they just, I thought the facets just had a bit too much glitz for me. It just wasn't where I was going with it. These are kind of nice, but I don't know. I really like these frosted ones, but unfortunately this is all I have of them, and they're a little big, and I'm not sure about that. And these are kind of cool. I like that they have a different shape. They're sort of wonky ovals, and those might be good. So here are a bunch of beads I pulled out of my blue bin. I love the finish on these, but something about them I think is just, again, a bit too formal looking. And the same with the crystals. They're pretty, they go. The bits of shell I like because, well, again, it's a sea theme and shell, but something about it just doesn't seem to work. I think where these are a little too formal, these are maybe a bit too casual. I don't know. I do like these a lot, though. I like the frosted glass, and I like these crackle ones. Now, as much as I love purple, I don't care for the overuse of purple. It tends to be kind of, I don't know, almost like sickening sweet. So I like these pearls, but I just think it's too much. I kind of think any of the purple is too much. I sort of like those, but again, I just think it's too much purple. These are definitely out. They're just way too big, and kind of everything was wrong with those. I like the chips, but again, yeah, just, I think I'm not going to have any purple beads on the strand at all. Now, there are times when you're designing when you want a bit much. You just have to decide what it is you're going for. So the final color that I'm considering for accenting my pendant is silver. Now right away I can see that these, although I really like the shape and their size, the finish is a little bit different. It's much darker than the bird and the bail, so I think I'll pass on these. And the finish is just right on these little flowers, and I kind of like the shape. They're sort of interesting, but I don't really care for the flower representation. This is a seascape, and so I don't think it really goes. These I like a lot. I only have a few of these, but I think I like that brushed metal. These I like just because they have a different shape. They're strung so that they look like diamonds, but again, they've got a Celtic design on them, which I don't know, I just don't think that works. And these are kind of cute, these little pumpkin beads, and I think I like those. The finish is good, the size is good, and the more I look at these white ones, I think I'm not even going to use any white. I think just the blue and the silver. So just these will accent this pendant really nicely. So here I've got my bead design board, and I have a handful of the beads that I've chosen. And honestly, I think I'm just gonna plunk them down kind of randomly. See where they fall. I'm going to make about 18 inches of this beaded chain. I'll fill in around the back with just a bit of necklace chain so that I can make it adjustable with my clasp. So what you'll want to do is cut yourself a piece of wire, and today I'm just using craft wire. This is 20 gauge craft wire. I'm going to make these all into bead connectors, just like this, with a loop on each end. Now there's 17 or so beads on each side. That's 34, that's 68 loops. So I'm going to do this a much quicker way than just making them with round nose pliers, and use my one-step looper. This will make the project go so much more quickly. So you take yourself a long piece of wire so that you don't have any waste, a 12 to 15 inch piece. Go ahead and make a loop on one side. Slide on a bead. Slide this all the way down. There's a little hole on that side that wire goes through. And if you want more details about using the one-step looper, I made a Friday Findings video about that I will link to in the cards on this video, which you'll find by clicking on the icon in the upper right and in the description box. So I'm going to pop that down, and I'm going to put this bead as close as I can to that left hand jaw, and then just squeeze. And there we go, there's my other loop. And so you just repeat. So when you're done, all of your beads will be like this with a loop on each side. And then all you have to do is connect them together. Now keep in mind with the one-step looper, depending on the gauge of the wire you use, the loops may not be completely closed. So make sure you go through all of your loops and double check them. Then you just open a loop, slip on the next bead, and close it. Now if you want this to look a little bit fancier, or if you're using nice beads and you want them really protected, you could do wrapped loops. However, I could not face the thought of doing 68 wrapped loops, so I just made them all simple loops. When you're done connecting them all, it should look something like this. You'll have a chain of beads. So now we need to attach our bail and pendant to our beaded chain. And I like to use a little bit of fine chain. Just pick a chain that will fit in the bail, and then attach the end link of that to the end beaded link of your chain, not the end, but you know, the one closest to the center. Okay. Close that up. Slide that chain through your bail. And then it's up to you to decide how much chain you want this to hang on. I'm not going to have it too tight. I might have like a couple links showing through either end. And notice I'm not cutting the chain short yet. This will make things much simpler. And then you just want to attach the bead link that'll go on the other side of center. And I'm just going to hold my chain and hook that in. Close that securely. And now you can take your wire cutters and cut off the next link of chain. Much easier way of handling it rather than trying to manage a little tiny bit of chain. And then carry on adding your beads to the rest of your chain. Add a clasp to one side, perhaps add some adjuster chain to the other, and we have taken one of our pendants out of the box and put it into a finished piece of jewelry, ready to be worn or given as a gift. So if you're interested in the supplies I used in this project, click on the little icon in the upper right of the video or in the link in the description box. That will bring you to my blog post, where I always have a complete supply list with links to products. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so you know when I put up new videos. If you like, take a look at my Patreon page. If you've enjoyed and benefited from and been inspired by this video, then maybe you'd like to help support these tutorials and keep them coming for free for everyone. So happy creating!